Hey everybody, this video brings me and Sean out to Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And the reason why we're out here today is to take a look at something pretty interesting that I knew one of these days I'd actually have to pull over and check out. Last time I drove past this, I had no idea what it actually was, so did a little bit of research, and it turns out this is pretty amazing. This stone wall you see right here, which I knew had to be for something historical, had to be for something kind of old. Turns out this is actually the remains of an old ice harvesting dam. By the way, this sits right next to Route 29 here in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. So if you do come out here, be very, very careful. We're right next to a very, very busy road, but this is pretty amazing. I wanted to see this with my own eyes, document this, show this to you guys, and here it is, the old Pickering Creek ice harvesting dam. This is amazing, sitting right here in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, right off of Route 29. That is awesome. So there is a historical marker here saying ice harvesting on Pickering Creek. In 1900, a dam was built across Pickering Creek at the spot using large boulders dynamited from the site. A dam created a 20-foot deep pond that covered 30 acres, ideal for harvesting ice. Until commercial refrigeration became widespread, ice was essential for keeping food fresh. The Knickerbocker Ice Company bought the pond in 1906. The company cut ice during the coldest months of the year, then stored it in ice houses until summer. It was then shipped on nearby rail line to Philadelphia on the main line until Labor Day. The price was 40 cents for 100 pounds. By 1917, business was dwindling and the ice plant was closed in 1920. In 1926, Frank Foster bought the 26-acre site and used it for a recreational area that he named Walden Pond. In 1942, a flood destroyed the dam. Charlestown Township acquired the land in 1983 as part of an open space track along Pickering Creek. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. And here's actual photos of men harvesting the ice. Look at that. And a picture of back when it was Walden Pond. So yes, in 1942, a flood came by and actually completely destroyed the dam, leaving it just in ruins like we see today. So should we go take a look at the dam? Yeah,
I was already walking up here just like...
I'm excited about this. Unfortunately, it seems like there's not really a decent trail to actually walk down here, unless I'm completely missing it, which I might be. Thankfully, I wore long pants today. Sean wore... Oh, Sean's smart. He's walking along the side. Just watch out for snakes. Please do not step on a snake there in the brush. But there's not really a trail to walk down here. I don't think a lot of people come out here and visit this, unfortunately, but this is really, really awesome. So again, this is once a dam that actually went straight across Pickering Creek, which is right over here. Big pond right here. This is pretty awesome. Again, during the winter, they would actually harvest the ice. It would form these it would just form ice. They would cut big blocks into the ice. They would store them then into an ice house. And then during the summer, they would ship that ice out to people who actually needed it to keep their food cold, because back in the day, that's the way refrigeration worked. You had ice boxes. You didn't have refrigerators. Refrigerators were not a thing back in the day. They had ice boxes where you'd put your milk and your meats and your eggs and everything you wanted to keep cold inside the ice box, and that would keep everything nice and fresh. And you had to have huge, giant, big chunks of ice, and things like this is what made those big, giant chunks of ice. Again, they would harvest the ice during the winter, and then in the summer, they'd send it out to those who needed it. And here are some more of the remains. Pickering Creek right here, and stretching right across this creek was this dam, forming a big, giant lake. That again is where they actually harvested the ice. Pretty awesome. That is until a flood came by and, well, made it look like this. So all these giant boulders right here that actually made up the dam are all quarried locally, which is really, really cool. But what's even cooler than that is if you actually walk to the side of the dam, you can actually see the inside of the dam. That is really interesting. You can kind of see how it was made, just stone piled on top of stone, all kind of fitted, sort of like Jenga-like or Tetris-like, all within each other. Pretty amazing. It's not every day you get to actually see like kind of the side view, like a slice of an actual dam. That is really, really neat and gives you a good idea of how the dam was actually made and constructed. That is really, really cool. And again, at one point stretched all the way across the creek right here, all the way to the other side. And this whole area was just one big lake at one point.
Yeah,
we would be underwater right now, quite a bit underwater right now.
Yeah.
If this was back in the days, so when this was still in operation. Pretty awesome. What's not so awesome is the fact that we're having to walk over all these giant boulders, and I'm just terrified of finding a copperhead. And for those of you who do not know, by copperhead, I mean a snake. There are copperhead snakes here in Pennsylvania. We do have rattlesnakes as well, though in this part of Pennsylvania, not really a huge issue. Copperheads, though, are a bit of an issue. If you get bit by one, you're probably going to survive. You're not going to die necessarily. I mean, if you don't get it treated or something like, I'd go that way. If you don't get treated or something like that, you could possibly die from a copperhead bite. But chances are, if you get bit by one, you're probably going to be okay. However, you will be in a lot of pain, and you definitely want to go to a hospital and get yourself treated. So, like, as I'm walking, every single step I take, I'm like, no snakes, no snakes, no snakes. A garter snake, okay, but a copperhead, I really don't want to come across one of those. All right, so this is pretty amazing. We're actually on top of the dam right now. Look at this. Again, kind of gives you an idea of how this whole thing was constructed, just out of local quarried stones and concrete, and kind of just slapped together, sort of puzzle pieced together to make this amazing giant dam here. This is awesome. And the fact that we actually get to walk on top of it is really, really cool. Got to be careful though. I don't want this whole thing to just crumble on us. There were no signs saying do not walk up here or anything like that. So I think we're pretty much safe. I think it's possibly, hopefully, actually sturdy. But look at this. Look at that. If you suffer from vertigo, I do apologize. Again, stretching straight across this creek right here used to run this dam, creating a huge lake right here. That is pretty awesome. This is cool. What's going on? You heard something? Was it a snake? Let's hope it wasn't a snake. All right, so note to self: next time I go out with Sean in the woods, don't start talking about snakes. I think I maybe kind of freaked him out a little bit with the snakes. He keeps going, was that a snake? Could there be snakes here? I think I heard a snake. Look, there's a snake hole right there. Look, right there, snake hole. I don't think snakes live in holes. All right, so what I want to do now is try to find a path that maybe takes us down towards the creek. I did see a path that I think maybe takes us around the dam here and takes us to the actual creek, so we can kind of get a bird's eye view of where the actual dam went straight across Pickering Creek. I think we're going to try to find that now. So I do believe if we actually go over here, maybe to this trail that Sean's standing by, this might possibly take us down and around where we want to go. I could be wrong. We could get lost. This might take us nowhere near where we want to go, but I mean, there's really only one way to find out. So as you can see, there is a path here, but it's not exactly well worn. I think a lot of people just don't really come out to this park, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame. This is a really interesting piece of Phoenixville and local history. This is just really, really neat that this dam was once here, again, used as an ice harvesting dam, and then later used as a recreational area, which is pretty interesting. Again, I think it's some very, very interesting history, but judging by the condition of this path and the fact that it's kind of starting to get a little bit overgrown and there's definitely weeds coming up through it, I just don't think a lot of people come out here. It's a shame. The good news is, though, I do think we've actually found the path we want to take. We were just standing over there a few minutes ago looking at the innards of the actual dam. So I think if we go this way and we get down to this little sandy sort of area, I want to say this will kind of give us a better view of how the dam actually functioned. You can see, again, there's one part of the dam. Here's the actual creek. And then there's more boulders and giant stones over here. And you can see how the actual dam used to continue at one point straight across. Look at that. Straight across here, over there. And right now, if this dam was still functioning, we would be under like 20 feet of water right now, which is pretty crazy. And really awesome. These remains are still here. Look at that. Just gives you an idea of how this once looked, stretching straight across the creek right here, creating a dam, creating a pond that was used in the winter for ice harvesting, and then later on for recreational purposes. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. This is awesome that this is still here. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain that these pipes here also date back to when the dam was actually built back in 1900. Look at those. You can see the old rivets. Those are really, really awesome looking. That is pretty cool. I don't know what the actual purpose of the pipes were. Maybe for letting out floods and things like that. If the water got too high, maybe those were opened up and they were floodgates, essentially. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I'm not entirely sure. Clearly, though, if they were floodgate tubes, they didn't really do the job very well, as this was, again, destroyed by an actual flood. There's another pipe over here as well. Look at that. That is really, really awesome looking. Those are so cool. Again, I love this kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for weird ruins in the middle of the woods. This kind of thing just really fascinates me. What did you find?
What is that thing?
It's a tarantula.
Oh, what is it?
Bigfoot. All right, guys, so I think that's about going to do it for the old Pickering Creek ice harvesting dam here in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. This is just, again, too awesome, too cool. I love this sort of thing. Awesome, amazing history. History of a time long since past. Again, the idea of people having to harvest ice for the summer, because during the summer you would need the ice for your refrigeration needs. We did not have freezers. We did not have refrigerators. Back in the day, we had ice boxes that we needed to put ice inside of. And where did that ice come from? It came from the winter, from lakes like this, man-made lakes like the one that used to sit right here, right over top of us right now. Back in 1900, we'd be underwater right now. Lakes that used to sit right here used to actually have the ice form during the winters. They would take that ice, cut it into blocks, put it into ice houses, and then during the spring, the summer, the fall, they would take that ice, ship it where it needed to go, and you'd keep your foods nice and fresh in your ice box. Pretty awesome, pretty cool. And again, I had to check this out, see this with my own eyes. This is awesome. A little interesting piece of Phoenixville history, somewhat maybe possibly, sadly, long forgotten, but not by me, not by the Historical Society. There's markers, there's plaques, and I, for one, had to pull over and check this out because this is awesome. All right, guys, so with that, we are done here again in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania at the Pickering Creek Ice Harvesting Dam. That was pretty awesome. That was cool. And no snakes. We did not find any snakes, thankfully. But all right, guys, with that, we are done. So I highly recommend coming out here, checking this out. There's a little place to park right off the side of the road here, about for like 2 or 3 cars, right off of Route 29 here in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Really awesome little piece of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania history. I highly, highly recommend coming out here to see this. I don't think enough people do, unfortunately, pull over and come out here to check this out. But you should. But all right, guys, with that, we are done. So as always, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check down below for links to Patreon. If you guys do become a patron, I will send you a postcard every single month from the road. Also check down below for a link to Spreadshirt, where you can grab yourself retro rest stop t-shirts, proceeds, both from Spreadshirt and from Patreon. Do get help putting gas in Vanabelle and Pumpkin, bringing us out to awesome places like this. So I really do appreciate it. But all right, guys, like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And if you do hit that subscribe button or you are subscribed, then I will see you in tomorrow's video. And I'm going to say today's hashtag no snakes. How's that?
Watch out for snakes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hashtag what?
Watch out for snakes.
Hashtag watch out for snakes. There you go. If you guys watch this video all the way to the very end. So, all right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.